Welcome. I'm Clay Avery with the State Association of Fire and Emergency Districts, or SAFE-D. We're here talking today with representatives from Bastrop County Emergency Services District Number 1. Bastrop County ESD Number 1 has called a sales tax election for May 9th, asking the voters to approve a 1.5-cent sales tax. David Gahagan is here with us. He's the president of Bastrop County ESD Number 1. He has served on the ESD board since 2004 when the voters created the district. Next to him is Brandon Bancroft. He is the fire chief for Bastrop County ESD Number 1. He has served in that position since 2009. He's formerly the chief of the city of Port Lavaca. Gentlemen, welcome. Chief, I know you're proud of the recent accomplishments of a lot of the 3 fire departments that you guys actually fund there in Bastrop County ESD Number 1. Can you tell us really quickly about some of those accomplishments?
Yes, no problem. Well, first and foremost, the mission statement of Bastrop County Emergency Services District Number 1 is to ensure that our businesses, residents, and guests are and remain safe while conducting business, living, and traveling throughout the district. The ESD was created in 2003. We encompass 477 square miles of southwestern Bastrop County, and we have a population of approximately 30,000. We have 7 fire stations, a fleet of 35 apparatus, and about 55 professional firefighters. The fire departments that we fund are the Blue Bonnet Volunteer Fire Department, 5 Points Volunteer Fire Department, and the 3-in-1 Volunteer Fire Department. Here in a bit in our slideshow, we will show you the map of the ESD so you can look at it in perspective to all of Bastrop County as a whole. Our population's increased 28.5% since 2000, and we'll cover that in the slides as well here in a little bit. A few of the main arteries that run through our ESD Number 1 is 71, which goes from Houston to Austin, Highway 20, which goes from Bastrop to Lockhart, 304 runs from Bastrop to Gonzales, 21 runs from Bastrop to San Marcos, and then we have 535, which runs from the airport all the way to Smithville, and 812, which is one of your main entrances to the Circuit of the Americas racetrack. So with those main arteries, we have a lot of traveling, and as Bastrop County grows, we're experiencing an overwhelming increase in traffic. On that note, last year we've responded to 1,025 fire rescue incidents, which is on the rise. 57% of those were traffic accidents and rescues related to vehicle accidents. And believe it or not, how most of us think that the fire department's primary response is fire. That's really only about 13% of our total call volume. In fiscal year 14, we're always going after grants to try to take that to fund our projects and take that burden off the taxpayers. So in 2014, we received in excess of $100,000 in federal and state funding, and some of the projects that went towards was our complete replacement of self-contained breathing apparatus. We received health and safety grants for physicals for the firefighters. We received a 5-ton 6x6, a military brush truck, to allow us for a more aggressive attack on the fires, and it gives us 1,500 gallons of water at the head of the fire for supplies. We received a water rescue boat from LCRA. So you can see we're constantly working on the grants to try to offset that burden off the taxpayers so we can keep our projects moving. We believe strongly in our mutual aid. We have excellent relationships with Travis County ESD 11 and the city of Bastrop, and it goes both ways. Not one department can tackle it all, but all of us together, we can send stuff their way when needed, and they bring it our way as well. The good thing about, or the bad thing about the district is we don't have the water infrastructure. So we have to bring our water with us, so to speak, with tenders. And more equipment, more wear and tear, and as the call volume increases, that's where we're at. The departments are handling the workload The increase in call volume superbly. We couldn't ask for better. They're constantly striving to exceed the standards we have in place with personnel, minimum number of personnel in the trucks, the responses, and things like that. So we're very proud of our VFDs. You know, with the increase, it's wearing them out, but as the ESD, we're trying to augment those volunteers with staffing and new station locations, et cetera. So,
wow. A lot of fantastic work sounds like is going on down there.
We're busy.
So President Gahagan, why did the ESD board call for a sales tax election?
Well, as you know, Texas is growing. Bastrop County has seen a 28+% growth rate in the last few years. The district has seen the same rate. So we're, as a board, concerned about the number of calls and the growth outstripping our ability to provide the same level of fire service that we provide today, which is what's driven us. That's one of our main driving forces to this election, is to be able to provide the same level or better than what we're providing today.
So, Chief, I understand you have a PowerPoint that you're going to...
Yes, sir, we sure do. The title of the PowerPoint is Driving Forces, and I'll go through it real quick. As I said earlier, Blue Bonnet Volunteer Fire Department, 5 Points Volunteer Fire Department, and the 3-in-1 Volunteer Fire Department are the 3 VFDs that we contract with for service. This is the ESD map I had talked about earlier. That's Bastrop County. As you can see, Bastrop County ESD 1 services almost 50%, like we said, 40% of Bastrop County, and a lot of main highways running through the ESD. ESD 1's there shaded in the light green. You've got Bastrop Travis County ESD 1 up top in the purple, and then you've got Bastrop County ESD 2 in the pink. And the areas you see on the map in white, those are the areas not currently in an ESD. They're centrally located on the map is the city of Bastrop, and then out east you have the Smithville and Heart of the Pines VFDs, which are currently not in an ESD. Bastrop County ESD number 1 provides funding for 3 volunteer fire departments. To pay for that, the ESD levies a 9-cent per $100 tax rate. That's just below the maximum allowed by state constitution. No ESD can levy more than 10 cents per 100 of property value. Here's an example. A home on the tax rolls at $200,000 pays about $15 a month. That's just a mere $180 a year to know that trained, well-equipped firefighters are at your door in minutes when there's an emergency. These are the driving forces we'll be discussing, which the President said was taking us towards the May 9th election. Growth, wildland fire threat, drought, new station needs, and property tax relief. There are many forces behind it, and the 3 VFDs are being required daily to step up their game. Bastrop County ESD number 1 is responsible for protecting 40% of the county's population, as I said earlier. And during the first decade of the century, the population in the ESD has increased by almost a third at 28.5%. That's higher than the state's rate at 20.6% and the national rate at 9.7%. With more people, as always, there's more calls for help. In only 2 years, our call volumes increased 30%. In 2014, ESD 1 fire departments responded to 1,025 calls for help. That means we're rolling out firefighters and equipment nearly 3 times a day. With growing population come more school-aged children in schools. Bastrop County ESD 1 provides protection to 7 schools in its district. 5 are located close to major highways. Some of the driving forces for wildland fire. Wildland fires, such as the fires we experienced in Bastrop County over Labor Day 2011, are particularly destructive, not only to the structures and countryside, but to the equipment that fight the fires. They require new strategies and tactics that would have been considered radical a generation ago. 95% of ESD 1 is not serviced by fire hydrants and a readily water supply. As a result, fires in the wildland interface require more equipment and manpower than similar fires in an urban environment. Here we're looking at the U.S. Drought Monitor. This was taken from January the 27th. Wildland fire is a risk in Texas anytime, except for the coast. Texas is a dry state. The risk is even greater now because of persistent drought. In 2011 and 12, those were the driest 2 years on record. The drought's been so pervasive that it will take years for us to recover. You can see on this January 27th map from the U.S. Drought Monitor that much of the state is in some stage of drought. ESD1 is marked as abnormally dry. Drought or not, we're always in danger of wildland fire. The drought makes it even more dangerous and is one of the driving forces in improving your fire protection. Another driving force is the need to replace the station we lost on Still Forest. Land has been purchased for the new station. Currently, the district depends on about 50 volunteers and a paid staff of 8 professional firefighters. Additional paid firefighters will staff the new station on 71 during daytime hours when volunteers aren't always available. 969 Station, through a partnership with Mr. Warren and Spiderwood Studios, land has also been in the process of donated to relocate the station approximately 5 miles in. One, that will improve response times for responders to get into the game earlier in more busy areas. And 2, improve the PPC classification for most of the taxpayers in the 969 ESD1 service area. Another driving force is property tax relief. To meet the challenges of growth, wildland-urban interface, drought, and building and equipping new stations, ESD1 could increase property taxes. Instead, we have chosen to ask voters for a 1.5% sales tax, which would bring in an estimated $800,000 per year. Barring unforeseen emergencies, the ESD1 Board of Commissioners has determined it could cut property taxes 2 cents per hundred, or about 22%, if voters approve the sales tax on May 9th. A sales tax allows the ESD to reduce its reliance on property tax. If property values fall, there's another revenue stream that can assure reliable emergency services are still available. It also reduces the burden on property taxpayers. When a visitor is traveling through ESD1 on Highway 71, say between Austin and Houston, the visitor is protected by ESD1 fire departments. Our fire departments don't ask for IDs when they pull someone out of the wreck. If that visitor stops to buy a taxable item, though, he then helps pay for the reliable emergency services. Another good example is the Hyatt Lost Pines. They attract visitors from all over the nation. If emergency happens there, God forbid, ESD1 will be there. It shouldn't be only the ESD1 taxpayers who are paying for the fire engines, fuel, and staff that provide that protection. These are our driving forces that are affecting your fire and emergency medical first response: growth, wildland-urban interface, drought, new station needs, and property tax relief. We want to make sure that everyone knows ESD1 is not asking for a property tax increase. We want to meet the challenges with no property tax increase. In fact, ESD1 wants to reduce property taxes. To that end, the district has called a sales tax election on May 9th. As we discussed, if voters approve it, the district would impose a 1.5% sales tax in areas not already at the maximum, which would bring in an estimated $800,000 a year for fiscal planning. If you have any questions, feel free to call us at 512-308-0086, or you can email me at bbancroft@bastropesd1.com.
All right. Thanks, Chief, for that very informative presentation. I do want to address one thing about the reduction in property tax burden. President Gahagan, there was some concern about at your February 9th town hall meeting that the pledge on the board's behalf to reduce property taxes should the sales tax pass wasn't written in stone. Could you just briefly address that?
Absolutely, Clay. As we said in our flyer that we sent out, we pledged to reduce property taxes by 2 cents per hundred. To that end, the board has considered a resolution, or will consider a resolution at our March 9th meeting to put into a resolution that we will reduce property taxes. When we founded the district, in order to reduce insurance rates, and that is what we did. We have the lowest tax rate in Bastrop County currently, and we reduced our insurance services organization rate from a 10 to a 3 in 2010. So I believe we've held our commitment, kept our promise to the voters to provide the best fire service for the lowest cost.
Sometimes I know sales tax can get kind of confusing with the difference between the portion that goes to the state and the portion that's available to the local jurisdictions. David, could you talk about that just really quickly? What would voter approval from a practical standpoint mean as far as the actual sales tax goes?
Currently, the ESD is asking for the voters to approve a 1.5% sales tax inside the district. Today, Bastrop County citizens pay a total of 6.75% sales tax. That's 6.25% from the state of Texas, and then Bastrop County has a 0.5% sales tax on top of the state's rate for a total, again, of 6.75%. What we're asking for is 1.5% additional sales tax that would go to the fire department to cover additional expenses. The difference in today's rate and a new rate of 1.5% or 8.25%, I'm sorry, would be an additional $1.50 on a $100 item. So today you're paying $6.25 when you purchase a $100 item from one of the local businesses, and if the sales tax rate is to pass, you would pay an additional $1.50 or $8.25.
Excellent. Just so I understand, the state maximum cannot exceed 8.25%.
Absolutely. The state of Texas has a maximum rate of 8.25% for all taxing entities in the state of Texas.
Many people don't know that, if they go to Austin and they're already at the 8.25% rate, they wouldn't even notice a difference necessarily.
Correct. Austin is at 8.25%. The city of Bastrop is also at 8.25%. So really, for the folks that shop outside of the district today, the tax rate won't change. It would be the same 8.25% in the district as it is outside of the district in the city of Bastrop, city of Austin, and elsewhere.
Excellent. Thank you for that information. Well, that's about it for us today. Thank you for joining us. From the safety headquarters here in Pflugerville, I'm Clay Avery.